What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hunter's Hockey Hurricanes podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Hunter. Man, what a great start to the series that was, huh? We start off today in a 5-1 victory, Carolina over the Devils. And man, did they look dominant tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes came out. They had a game plan, it looked like. They knew what they were going to do. They were going to shut down the Devils. They were not going to give them time and space like the Rangers did. And I get it. The Devils were coming off a very, very stressful series against the Rangers. Probably very very tense, something that was very it just kept them on their toes, right? Usually, in that sense, that's a good thing for most teams, right? Thinking back to 2019 Hurricanes, when we beat the Capitals in Game 7 in double overtime, we went right into the series with the Islanders and stole that first game on home ice. On the Islanders' home ice, I should say. And from then, we went on to sweep that season series. I really thought that maybe the Devils would be a little bit stronger today. Not to say that they didn't have their chances, because I think they did. Obviously, they did get one in there. But honestly, there was nothing that it seemed that they could do tonight because the Hurricanes were on their game. From the jump, it looked like Carolina knew what they were going to do, and they executed it perfectly, especially in the first period. I believe the shots on goal after the first period were 11-1, and that one shot from New Jersey was a shot from center ice that bounced in on Freddie and really didn't pose too big of a threat besides the weird bounce that it had. But other than that, that was about it. That you can't ask for a better first period, right? So we're just going to go through the game, right? We're going to hit all the highlights here. I've got everything pulled up on my monitor over here, and we're just going to go through it. And as I see things that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about them. I will put a disclaimer out here just in the beginning, just saying that the third period, I will admit, I wasn't watching as much just because I was talking to my wedding pastor. Because I am getting married in a month, and that is something I had to do. Unfortunately, it was during the game. It's fine. I had it set up on my monitor. I was talking with him and watching the game. Now, I wasn't paying full attention, but I was watching the game. Okay? So, we're going to go through here. The first 4 minutes of the game were kind of just, back and forth, feeling each other out, like a normal game one of a series, right? And then, at 4:06 in the first period, Brent Burns takes a tripping call. It was on I believe it was an odd man chance for the Devils. I think it was a 2-on-1. Can't quite remember who had the puck, but Brent Burns, does he end up tripping him? Doesn't look like it. Maybe his foot barely hit his foot, the Devils player's foot, and he falls. But yeah, did the Devils player end up on the ground? Yes, but I mean, was it because he barely tapped Brent Burns' boot? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. You know why? Because from the jump of that power play, we had gotten it out of the zone. Sebastian Aho even had a breakaway chance on that power play on the shorthand, right? And then a minute in, Eric Holla takes the tripping penalty against Jalen Chatfield. Now, up until this point, I believe we could have been up at least one already. Marty Necas has a shot with a wide open net. And we'll get to Marty Necas in a second and how I think he played. But he has a wide open shot with a net. Just one Devils player's there. Schmidt was all the way on the other side of the net. No way he gets there with a Necas shot straight. Even if he just hits it square in the center. Unlucky, hits a Devil's knee. Puck bounces out. It's a good shot though. It's a good play set up there by the power play. We had already killed off our power play. We had already killed off the Devils power play, and we were on our power play. It was on 4-on-4 for about a minute or so, and then we had our chances. So again, yeah, we're just, kind of just feeling each other out for another good while there. And then there's a offensive zone face-off. Stahl wins it cleanly. Pesce grabs it. And at 9:41 in the first period, Schmidt had no chance. The front of the goal, Stahl was in front. It looked like every single player on the ice was in front of Schmidt. Pesce shoots it top left. Schmidt is looking over. You can see him in the replay. He's looking over right. Puck goes right by him on the left. 1-0 Carolina. And if that really wasn't the telltale sign that tonight was going to be Carolina's night, then definitely what comes up after it is when about 5 minutes later, Seth Jarvis, he gets the puck away from Graves, I believe it was, the Devils defenseman. He pushes it up the boards. He wins the race to the puck. He creates an odd man chance, and he does not dish it. He takes it himself to the net, goes top cheddar on Schmidt, and makes it 2-0. And let me tell you, I've been to Carolina Hurricanes games in the playoffs, but I can only imagine how it was tonight, especially after that second goal. When you're up, that place gets loud. It is an environment that only a hockey fan can love, right? I mean, I honestly don't know how the other teams can talk. I don't know how the Hurricanes can talk on the ice. It is so loud, and I know I'm in the stands, right? I'm not on the ice with them. But they literally have to huddle up. Like, they can't speak to each other like they would in a normal regular season game, right? Have to huddle up and be like they're a football team out there. Anyway, that was a fantastic first period, and if every period could go like that in a perfect world, Carolina would be your Stanley Cup champion. But obviously, they can't do that all the time. All right? So we'll head into the second period here. And it gets off to a very quick start. Siegenthaler loses his helmet in the corner. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, he's got to get off the ice right away. I did not know, even being the hockey fan that I am, I didn't even know that you had the opportunity to kind of play out the puck if it's in the corner when your helmet's off. I had no idea. I thought as soon as your helmet came off, you had to leave the ice. It's fine with me. Because when he does leave the ice, we set up a play right behind the net. Kokiniemi gets it out front. Kind of dribbles out to Martinook. Martinook makes one more pass. And it's a wide open net for Kokiniemi to put the Carolina Hurricanes up 3-0 at that point in the game. And really, they were just running with it at this point. Right? I mean, it's 3-0 on home ice. We were shutting everything down. The Devils seemed that they could not get anything going. They started maybe to get it going right after this, because at the 5:02 mark in the second period, Nathan Bastian gets a bounce, right? Gostisbehere tries to go make a play at the blue line. He does end up making the play. He gets the puck away from the New Jersey Devils forward, but it bounces to another person. Bastian's already up. Gostisbehere believes he might have Puljujarvi on the backside. He doesn't. And Gostisbehere's already caught up in the other play. Bastian flicks it right over Freddie's left shoulder, and it's 3-1. Okay. Now, after that, you could see the Devils, getting to their game a little bit. And like I said in my last podcast, the Devils are a fast team. Every time they get the puck, it is a very scary thing for me watching the game, right? I'm just sitting there, right? If I'm not at the game, sitting on my couch watching the game, it's a very scary thing when they have the puck and they're going up and down the boards. Now, there wasn't a ton of that tonight because we were just so good defensively. It seemed like every time they were good just going around, Jack Hughes would have the puck. We absolutely we shut him down tonight, and that was very refreshing to see. Jordan Staal even had a big hit on him. Not necessarily sure what time that was, if that was in the third or if that was in the second period. I believe, it's right here, 7:59 in the second. Jordan Staal hits Jack Hughes, lays him on the ice, and we just let him know, hey, not your night, buddy. Not your night. Yeah, so got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but yeah, I mean, it stays 3-1 for the rest of the second period. Not really too much big things that happened there. There was a penalty on Hischier for a delay of game. He threw the puck he really threw it out center ice, but while he was in his own zone. So we did have that. Jordan Martinook did take a high sticking penalty to Dougie Hamilton, 15:34 in the second period. But really, yes, after the New Jersey Devils got their first goal, they did make a bit of a push, and there were a few minutes there where I may have thought that they were going to score another one, and it was going to be a 3-2 game. But I was fairly confident in the fact that if we got out of the second period no worse than 3-1, that there was going to be no problem that Carolina could win this game. Turned out to be right. Because in the third period, again, I didn't watch it fully, but it just looked like more of the same, right? Carolina was on their game. They controlled the puck. Devils had their chances. I thought Freddie was pretty good tonight. He wasn't great. If he was great, he would have saved that one shot against Bastion. But I'm not going to complain. I think he was good. He was very serviceable. That's exactly what we need, right? Stop everything that's in front of you. If we get an odd man chance, hopefully make half of those saves. Probably 3/4 be better. But yeah, I mean, Freddie was good. Can't really complain on that end. I just think defensively we were on top of our game today. There was really no way that the Devils were going to create more chances than they did. We kind of set that up early. We knew what we were going to do. Just is what it is, man. When the Carolina Hurricanes play their game, and this is what they're capable of. New Jersey, like I said, they're a team that if they get scored on 7 times, they have to score 8, right? They have the capability of doing that, but if we play defensively like we are, it'll be tough. Now, like I said yesterday, it's one game. Don't get caught up into it. We're not going to sweep them, probably. I highly doubt that we're going to sweep the New Jersey Devils. They're a high offense team, and I'm sure at one point they're going to outscore us. That's just the way playoff series go, though. But if there is one thing I do have to say, it's that if the Carolina Hurricanes play their defensive game like they did today, get the goal production from their defensemen, right? Brett Pesce scores the first goal, and then we're going to get to 10-17 in the third period. Brady Shea gets a pass from Sebastian Aho, and he fires it right past Vanacek at that point, right? He had already come in. He came in after Schmidt let up that third goal, right? So, yeah, I mean, and then, Fost puts the icing on the cake, gets the empty netter, and that's really it. I mean, yes, I do believe they had their chances, them being the New Jersey Devils, to get more than one goal. But like I said, I thought Freddie was good. He definitely wasn't bad. He definitely wasn't great either. But if we get that production from him, and we get the production goal-scoring wise from our defense, it's going to be a tough series for the Devils. I think we came out and played a physical game too. We were on top. We smothered them. There was they didn't have any time to make any great passes. They're professional hockey players. They're going to make some passes. But the Hurricanes took a lot of time and space away from them. You can't underestimate or undersize what they did tonight. I mean, that's the highest transition offense in the league. And we're the highest defensive unit in the league at taking away transition opportunities, right? Today the defense won. And if they can win like that, going to be tough for the Devils, which makes it really good for the Hurricanes, right? And that's, of course, what we want. 5-1 final score for the Hurricanes. Let's get into a few performances that I thought were exceptional, or even just, better than we had thought in the earlier part of the playoffs. I thought Marty Necas played a really good game today. I thought offensively he was in the right spots. He didn't do too much, right? We had just talked on the last podcast that you don't tell him to slow down. It's the playoffs. You need everything that you can get. It is the playoffs. But at the same time, it didn't seem like he was doing anything today that would warrant him being looked down on. Offensively, I thought he should have had probably 1 or 2 goals. I think he played exceptional. He's definitely playing better than most Carolina Hurricanes fans think about him. I think he has exceptional talent. Of course, you want to see him on the board. That's a given, right? I mean, any goal scorer wants to be on the scoreboard. But he played good enough offensively that he created chances and probably should have been rewarded more than he was, right? So, I think he was exceptional. Pretty good. Okay? As I said earlier, Freddie, I think he was good, right? Can't really ask for much more. Of course, you would want the save on the Bastian goal, but it's a good shot. Sometimes it beats you, right? You're a goaltender. Net's bigger than you are. It happens. Okay? I thought it was a bad bounce, too. It seemed like the only way they were going to get a goal. Let's see. Anybody else that really stands out? I think it was Puljujärvi that I saw most playing on Jack Hughes and being so tight to him when he was making the cuts in the offensive zone. It was beautiful. We were smothering him, especially in the first period. We made his life a living hell in that first period, and really for most of the game. It was something to really be proud of. I thought Martinook, as I think he's played good in most of the playoffs so far, I think he played really well tonight. He had an assist. There's a lot of guys that are kind of picking up the slack, right? We've talked about how we need to have goal scoring at this time, and we've lost 2 of our biggest goal scorers. Now, of course, Max Pacioretty, we didn't really see him all year, so we don't know what his production would have been like. But it's safe to say that he would have scored a decent amount of goals if he was healthy. Just from the production of his past years, right? And the biggest question coming in was whether he could stay healthy or not. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Right? And Andrei Svechnikov, I mean, he had a little drought before he got injured, but he was still a 30-goal scorer, right? That's a guy you want on the ice during the playoffs, right? But these guys are picking up the slack. Kotkaniemi had his first goal as a Carolina Hurricane in the playoffs. That's really good. Seth Jarvis. I mean, he's somebody that if we really wanted somebody to blow up, I think he could do it. Right? That kid's got something in him. I think it's just sheer competitiveness. that is very, very good to see, especially during this time of the year. Yeah, man. I think overall, the Hurricanes played a great defensive sound game. And they were rewarded on the offensive end, too. They had the puck a ton, it felt like. I don't necessarily know the ice time. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Shots, hits, face-offs, power plays, shorthanded. Yeah. Not 100% sure what the minutes in the offensive zones were, but it just felt like they had the puck so much. And if you don't want the other team to score, it's a good idea to have the puck, right? Very good idea. So, who are my 3 stars of tonight? Let's see. The stars of the game for, at least I'm looking at it on ESPN, it had Frederik Andersen as the 3rd star, Jordan Martinook as the 2nd star, and Brett Pesce as the 1st. I definitely think Martinook deserves a star. He might go number 1 for me. He seemed like he was flying around the ice. I'm going to go Martinook 1, Jarvis 2, and I'm just for his first goal as a Carolina Hurricane in the playoffs, I'm going to go Kotkaniemi. Right? It seemed like he was around the puck a lot too, which he seems like he has been in the playoffs so far. That's what you want to see, right? All right. Well, I think I've dragged on long enough. It's been about 30 minutes. That's when I want to keep these two. Guys, I want to thank you for coming out, watching this, supporting this as much as possible. I appreciate it. Big time. Can't do it without y'all. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Be safe. I'll see you later.